Well, Shafiq, I wanted to describe for you the mood, what the mood is like here at the Kakindu Stadium, but I'll let the drums and the noise that I hear right now give you the feel of this derby. Of course, it has been dubbed many things, including the Rolex derby, which personally I don't see the need for, because first of all, Gaddafi is an army side, and Bul, of course, being, you know, they manufacture cooking oil and all that, but we will leave it at that. But I'll tell you that Bul FC has come out with its troops, been talking to the coach here, Alex Isabide, and he's told us why he's performing well, why his team is looking like it looks like. Of course, he promised a trophy some time back, but I would like you to hear from him just as he puts his words.
Coach, we look at Bul
Football Club coming into this game. They've won 3 games, of course, drew 1, but of course no loss. That is the most important thing. Should we say that Bul Football Club means business this season?
Seriously, I've been telling you that I'm trying to teach these players how to compete. That was from last season to this season. And good enough, we are leading the table, so now we are trying to learn how to stay on top. Okay. I know very well that we are playing Gaddafi, we are neighbors, the players know each other. I know the game won't be easy, but I think we shall win the game.
Last season when we spoke, you talked about Bul Football Club at least winning a trophy this season. And looking at the way you're starting with the Premier League, should we say that it's the Premier League this time you're coming for? Because last time, again, you went and won the Uganda Cup.
Seriously, I won the cup, but I can't say that we are going to win the cup. Winning a cup, you need to do many things. You have to be organized from top up to down. I'm not saying that we're not organized, but there are some teams which I think they are more organized than us. But we are trying, we are doing our level best to see that we reach them. So this time around, we just need 3 points as we are learning how to stay on the top and learn how to manage the club.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Now, one of the things that you will notice every time you come to Jinja to watch football, of course, this part of the country, you'll see that students are always in the stands. They do allow some of them to come and watch the game, but that's not the reason why we are here. I would like to also tell you that Waswa Bosa has also been talking. Why is he not scoring the goals? Of course, that's the question that he will best answer in just a few. Coach tutunulira Gaddafi Football Club ngejja mupiira guno naye nga goolo zo zikyagaanye okulabikako. Kiki ky'ogenda okukola okugonjoola ekizibu kino?
Game ewedde twasobola okuteebayo goal emu. Kyensuubira twaddayo era ne tucorrectinga mistakes. Tusuubira okuba ku game eno nga bigenze bulungi okulaba nga chance zaffe tuzikozesa olunaku olwaleero.
Bw'otunuulira ttiimu gy'ogenda okusamba leero, bw'otunuulira midfield yo, oleese abasambi abali defensive minded basatu. Tugambe nti ozze ne tactic ya kugezaako kulemesa ttiimu eno kuteebamu?
Tactical ya game ate kirala tebali defensive minds. Yeye ali attacking minds. Yeye akuva dda is attacking midfielder. Then lwakuba olumu tumusambisa nga ava eno wansi mbaki midfielder. Kyensuubira ajja tuwa ekituufu ku game ya leero.
Webale nnyo coach. Now, I'll tell you, you can talk to any pundit, but they'll tell you it's hard to call a derby. Now, Gaddafi Football Club and, of course, Bul are going to be facing it out here. Some of you might be wondering, why is Gaddafi playing here and not perhaps where it has been playing? But that's a question, of course, maybe because of the fact that some of these fans cannot access the stadiums, and that's the reason why you see this place is fully packed. But of course, we are just waiting. The coaches are already out. The players are somewhere around the tunnel, and what we are doing here is also us to warm up and watch a good encounter. Let me hand you now to Jermaine Egesa, who is going to be taking you in the commentary.
Sibling squabbles are renowned world over, especially as children, but sometimes they carry on and it becomes a rivalry right up to adulthood, and many of them have been famed. We've definitely all known the Bible story between Cain and Abel. It's happened before. The Williams sisters, formidable when playing together, a real spat when they actually go against each other or played against each other, including the famed one between the brands known as Adidas as well as the other brand that is known as Puma, owned by brothers, but they decided to go separate ways, and it has led to age-old competition. And now we have another one right here in Jinja. 3 teams that represent this particular region. The 2 younger ones, the 2 vulvarous ones, the ones that have the noise, are the ones that take to the crowd today. A very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. We come to you right from the renowned shadows of Narambai High School at Kakindu Playground, or right now you could say Kakindu Stadium, now that it was upgraded, as we bring you this particular match. Gaddafi takes on Bul Fc, and right there, Coach Waswabosa making his peak of the squad quite known.
Yeah, of course, no surprises there. He hasn't changed so much from the team that played against Express, Jermaine, apart from Yunus Sibira, who starts in this game as part of the 3 midfielders. You suspect that he's definitely going to go with Johnson Odong and Brian Kaluma providing the width, but I can tell you that Alex Chitata will have his work cut out to try and get the goals.
Well, Bul FC have definitely been in top-notch form, and they'll be looking to continue in the same vein, especially when they look to their man in shot 13, Richard Wadiaka, who has been heads and shoulders above everyone else.
Certainly, he's league top scorer with the 4 goals already, and he's really firing on all cylinders. But the big thing about Bul FC coming into this game, 5, or rather 3 of the top 5 top scorers are from their side, and that includes Jerome Chiria being one of them, Wandiaka, and of course the man leading their line, Karim Undugwa there, shot 20. So he decided to go with the 2 strikers, so that you think that he's definitely going for the gauntlet this evening.
Well, they've been definitely been matchless. No one in their peer and stride, and no surprise they're at the top of the table. But with the derby, as Ronald Mugabe did warn, anything could turn around. Salim Mashoud will lead the contingent over the officials handling this particular match. One of those that is definitely one that cuts it right by the letter of the law. And Waswabosa has a few ideas that he needs to impart to his team, including where to find the back of the net.
Yeah, exactly. Waswabosa knows that with just the 1 goal scored by his team in the 3 games, that is not a good return, and they definitely have got to up their game. They've got to be more efficient up front. They need to find the goals, because that's the only way you can win matches. But the choice of Salim Mashoud as referee, for me, probably the best choice that the selectors of the referees could have made for such a big game, in terms of the tenacity that is expected, but also the temperatures between these 2 rivals in Jinja. The best man to handle this kind of rivalry is definitely Mashoud Salih, right there in black.
Well, on the other end, Alex Isavidebo Songola, one who is definitely in bullish mode at the moment, because his team is literally playing according to the way he wants. They are the top scorers, but also they do definitely have a lot of clean sheets in the bag as well.
Yeah, exactly. They've started the league quite well. They've been scoring goals in droves and also winning games that many would not have expected them to. But the fact that they were able to draw with URA and just conceded very late and beat Villa very late last Friday, then this team is really in business. And I'm sure that looking back at how they performed last season, winning the Uganda Cup ahead of Vipers in that 3-1 win in the final, then everybody has definitely got to keep watch of this side.
Jermaine Agesa here. John Vianney Simbe is with me in the commentary booth as we get you through this particular game. And evidently from the jerseys of the both teams, you could say birds cut off similar cloth, more or less there. Bul FC in the yellow and green trunks, while Gaddafi having quite a bit of the camouflage with the yellow, reddish, orange to match in their normal style.
Well, it's a bit surprising if you look back at this Gaddafi side last season. Their home kit was the army green, and it seems like with the new owners also coming in, they chose otherwise, and they've decided to change their strip to having that yellow and a bit of the red strip. So I guess with new ownership comes new things.
Well, action is straight off the bat, and for the moment it's end-to-end action. They try to get the ball within their strides, and there's a quick breakaway here coming in from Bul FC, but good tenacity coming in here to recover from a lost ball there. Picked up once again, Gaddafi looking to give as good as they are receiving here. They get into ascendance, looking to cross the ball across the pitch, but well, not exactly quite pinpoint. Still gets the job done. Skipping away from one marker, sending it one way, and now teasing and taunting, looking for space. There could be an opening here. In one way or another, if we hadn't taken a walk around this pitch, you would think the ground is quite uneven with the way people are moving gingerly.
Yeah, exactly. And I think with that the sun burning down on the grass somehow. The grass is a bit slippery, so without very good starts, then you can easily lose your footing. But I guess there Kasonko took out Yahaya Mahad Kakoza, and there was only going to be one decision from the referee, Mashud Saleh. But this is a free kick in a very good area for Gaddafi. If they can get their direction onto that ball, then you think that they've got a very good chance to take the lead here. And what is an outcome it would be for the fans, especially when you consider how they struggled at the beginning of the season.
Emmanuel Kaliowa currently bears 2 clean sheets from the 4 games played in 360 minutes. He might have his work cut out here with this set piece if it's worked out well. Johnson Odong straight to the wall. The barricade stays true to its form. The ball now bounces to the center of the park as Gaddafi try to reassert themselves and look for another siege towards the final third. Crossing the ball in there. A bit of a melee there, but player goes down. Mashud Saleh judges that the player on the ground did cause the foul, Mahad Yaya Kakoza.
Well, I will tell you, Jermaine, looking back at the free kick, that execution by Johnson Odong was just not good enough. And for me, I get the feeling that he didn't take it with conviction, because at least it's got to try and clear the heads of the defenders. But for you to get that free kick into the chest of the defenders or the midriff, then clearly it just shows that the attempt is really very poor.
For the moment, there's a throw-in here coming up for Bul Fc, who have definitely so far matched everything that has been thrown their way. They have been one team that has been extremely supreme, quite tremendous. You could say maybe too good to be true for the fans. They can't believe it that up to match day 5, they're still at the top of the table, and quite by right.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you that they've shown that level of consistency. If you look at how they started, taking Black Spar to school and doing almost the same thing just a few days later when they hosted UPDF. So you can see that this is a team that has started quite on a fly here. Of course, this game has not started at a high tempo as I would have expected, but you think it's going to grow as it continues to build up here. And I think there's a bit of weighing up of each other, gauging each other's strength and whatnot. But interesting, Bull has maintained that back 3 from the time that they beat Vipers in that final in Masindi in June, and somehow it appears to be working for them, giving them the right balance and also allowing them to play with the 2 center forwards, Karim Mundugu and Frank Kalanda, who are 2 lanky guys but also very physical.
Well, right there on the bench, a couple of the lads that will be expected to drop in and maybe make a positive impact should Gaddafi need to deploy them to come onto the pitch. A bit of worried faces there because, well, it's not exactly been the earliest or best of starts here for this Gaddafi team. To be honest, it's been phlegmatic in my opinion.
Yeah, the thing is that if you look back at the way they started the game against Express, that first half was quite lethargic. They were very slow out of the blocks. They were really chasing shadows. And in the end, they ended up conceding quite early in the first half. It was only later on in the second half when they grabbed the bull by the horns and they started playing some good football. So I think they have a problem as Gaddafi of starting games slowly.
In the meantime, it's just 5 minutes of the game played. This is the Startimes Uganda Premier League, and it comes to you live and exclusive right here on the new home of the Startimes Uganda Premier League, Sanyuka Prime. New season, new channel, coming to you only on Startimes, channel 238 on satellite and 251 on antenna. Well, this season, we build stars.
Yeah, definitely, and that is exactly why we bring you the Uganda Premier League and so much more in as far as our sport in Uganda is concerned, because we want to bring the stars into your living room.
Courtesy, of course, on the bench here. The young lads of Bul Fc be expected to step in and make their impact felt as well when need be called upon.
A bigger bench because they seem to be squeezed, and that can really be distressing for players. I think that Gaddafi have got to ensure that that dugout is much bigger than that, because players are all squeezed up, and that can cause a bit of distress. And is it just a coincidence that it's the visitors that are seated on such a small dugout?
A player on the ground here, and there's a free kick that should be awarded. Karim Mundugu fouling in the end, quite enthusiastic in his approach here, trying to probably once again race up the goal scoring charts. Him and Richard Wadiaka, as well as the man up front in Frank Kalanda, have been nothing short of phenomenal. Now throw in Kyria Jerome, and it's been, well, really quite the cattails in there for them. They've been annihilating everything that has been thrown in front of them.
Yeah, the thing is that for us to take them seriously is when you look at the way they played against URA needed a very late goal to at least share the spoils, and they were led from the first half by this Bull side, and this Bull side also just knocked the puffing out of SC Villa just on Friday. You remember that one, 88th minute strike by Wandiaka. Such a beautiful goal it was. Now, if you start registering such scores and such results, then clearly it's a statement of intent from this Bull side. And I clearly think that if they can keep going the way they are right now and believe, then they could surprise us and be the latest league winners, the first-time league winners. And since, because I've not had a first-time winner since Vipers did it in 2010. That's the last time we had a new team come out and win the league.
Well, Ibrahim Chiemba and Brian Kalumba will have to get their song sheet right if they're going to sing off the same page. For the moment, possession returns to them. America Como try to spread it in here for Mahad Kakoza. Referee says carry on, and that is some good play coming in from Yunus Sibirwa, trying to release it here for Mahad Kakoza, but the ball is intercepted and taken away instantly. Bul FC looking to go to the ascendance, but a little clumsiness. You could say they're taking this game a little too casually for a team that we've known them to be, that blows out opponents right out of the water. They're taking this one quite literally a little too casually.
The thing is that, Jermaine, if you look at Bull, they've also not started this game well, and I can only say that from what we're seeing, you can see now Gaddafi trying to get into control of this game, but by and large, the two sides have not started this game well, particularly Bull. They seem to be really struggling to get any sort of rhythm into this game.
Brian Kalumba, definitely one of those charged with making sure that he can get this team firing on all cylinders. He's been the only man that has been able to find the net here for Gaddafi. They might hope that a few others can actually chip in there as the ball is knocked out. That's a throw in, set to come through here for Bul Football Club, right here at the Kakindu Stadium. This is the Startimes Ghana Premier League, Gaddafi versus Bull, coming to you live on Sanyuka Prime and brought to you by MTN, the official broadcast sponsor. As we bring you this one, the new home of the Startimes Ghana Premier League, live on Startimes Uganda, channel 238 on satellite and 251 on antenna. In case you haven't got it yet, then this might be the ample time for you to make a dash.
Yeah, and of course for all your friends who do not know which channel to find us on, Sanyuka Prime, then you need to make them aware, 238 and 251.
Richard Aiko with a powerful throw in, and now the ball is at the feet of Jerome Kyria. They lose possession instantly, Gaddafi retrieving, and for the moment they seem to be a little more seamless. Mahad Kakoza powering his way through that midfield, trying to reach out here to his teammate. Just could not get to him there, Brian Kalumba, who for the moment looks like he has altered his path and pattern from the left to the right. Just seems to be all over the place here, Brian Kalumba.
Yeah, of course he will need to actually be as dynamic as he can be, because you see, if you look at the team that has been struggling to find goals, then they need some bit of inspiration, and Brian Kalumba is definitely the kind of player that should be able to inspire them. But regarding this Gaddafi side, if you look back at even last season, their top scorer was a defender. That was Hassan Musana, Buchochera. These were all defenders that Andrew Weiss were. So scoring, at least the strikers did not really fire as much as they should have. And
as a player goes to the ground, and right on the onset, the referee Mashoud Salih points to the spot. It looks like for Gaddafi, the nightmare that they thought probably the first 10 minutes they had managed to rouse themselves out of is quickly creeping up on them once again. It won't be just a penalty, there'll be a booking as well here. Yellow card and a penalty to Bul FC.
The last thing that I can imagine Coach Wasabosa would have expected from his side, especially when you're struggling, you don't want to see your team making such mistakes and also falling behind, because you know goals are hard to come by. You need to stay the game as much as possible. But what was Bakaki thinking, raising his arm that high? What was he thinking? Was he going with his head? Was he trying to play the late Diego Armando Maradona there with the hand of God?
Would have been nearly impossible to get it away
using his hand.
Yeah, would have been impossible.
It seemed like that's what he was trying to do there.
Well, at the moment, it's now a task that falls on Joel Mutakubwa. looks like it's not going to be an easy one for this gentleman. Joel Mutakubwa managed to keep 2 clean sheets. And it looks like it will fall to Kazindula to take this particular one. Ibrahim Kazindula, bit surprised with Ndugwa, Kaland and Wandiaka. You would have expected one of them to step up, but Ibrahim Kazindula, shot 7, is the man that takes the mantle on. Can he dispatch this one and give a very early lead to Bul FC? Or will there be a twist in the plot?
Yeah, exactly, and I'm sure that the fact that it's Kazindula on it, then he must be the most reliable penalty taker, and he's had quite a good season from the last one. Even now, he's really strong midfielder and very dynamic.
For the moment, steps up and buries it quite emphatically there. Just going straight and getting the job done. Not really a lot that the goalkeeper could do it there. For the moment, Bul FC continue to send their fans into delirium here. The fans now walk into each other game expecting that they will have a result. And Bul has not yet disappointed. Something that may not be exactly said of Gaddafi FC yet.
Yeah, definitely, and that is the kind of setback that for Gaddafi, who are still working out to get the confidence and also to get the belief in. You don't want to start giving away goals like they've done, and clearly for me, I don't understand what Shafiq Bakaki was thinking, going with his arm raised that high to try and hit the ball away with his arm raised that high, and with a referee like Mashoud Sali, he's not going to miss those kinds of moments, and he will definitely penalize you for them.
Former Sports Club Villaman here, confirmation that he picks up the yellow card as they try to retaliate in instant and soldiery fashion. But that's off target here.
Yeah, but they'll need to get some kind of flow in their game, Jermaine. If you look at Gaddafi, even though they've looked a little better than Bul in the earlier exchanges, the thing is that if your team that is trying to get into the season and has been struggling, they need to get some bit of rhythm in their play.
Manuel Kalioa clears the ball long up front and quickly intercepted here once again by Gaddafi. Do dare say it's against the run of play that Bul FC have taken the lead, but it won't matter in the grand scheme of things. They have the lead, and it looks like it might be shades of deja vu, because in the reverse, in the same fixture last season, they did actually win again, Bul FC, with 10 men. There was a red card in there for Muganga Douglas, but it didn't matter as they won 2-0. That time, Hilary Onek and Kyrie Jerome were the men who were on card to strike at the heart of the Soldier Boys. Now, for the moment, they have the ball once again, Bul FC, and going at it with a little tenacity here, but losing out. A little too strong-handed there from Andrew Waiswa, but at the end of the day, gets the job done. As for the moment, a cross is supposed to be made in. Emmanuel Obua seems to be protesting that there was a bit of rough treatment there. They do get a corner for their troubles.
Yeah, of course. I think is that when a team is having the confidence as Bul are, the thing is that each time they go forward and they know exactly what they need to do to get the opponent on the back foot. And if you look at that cross that was delivered in by Emmanuel Obua, he knew exactly what he was trying to do. He was trying to direct the ball to the 2 big men. That is, of course, Karimu Ndugwan and Frank Kalanda. Just that they were aided by Shafiq Bakaki in the handball.
Kazindula brings in the cross. It's a heavy head there. Steps aside, but there could be a chance here for launching a quick counter-attack for Gaddafi if they can take it. Hadia Kakoza tried to squeeze that one in. Just didn't come to pass. And now Ibrahim Chiemba tries to take the throw in quickly, but the referee says it should be retaken. It's actually a free kick. Give it off quickly. Starting it off now. Johnson Odong, one of those that's actually in that midfield there now. Amir Kakomo tries to carry the ball forward. There's a nip at the heels. And Kakomo now takes the set piece, spreading it out to the wing here, trying to find Johnson Odong. Johnson Odong approaching the final third, skips past his marker, tries to get the cross in, but made it too easy for Kazindula to actually break him down. You could say it was textbook.
Yeah, exactly. That was very easy. And I think for Johnson Odong, he has got to put in a bit of speed and try to be a little more imaginative and try and make it a little more problematic for the defense of Bul FC. But I thought that play, the way he carried the ball was quite slow.
Well, for the moment now, there's a bit of a problem here, and the referee has a decision to make on whether that will count for anything.
Suspicious there, and the way Kalioa just came in guns blazing with so much force, it could easily have been a penalty in my book. Or maybe a replay will give us a clearer view. And you can see Kalumba raising his hands there, asking the referee, what's that? Look at that.
Had a bit of a challenge earlier
That
on.
is a penalty, by the way, Jermaine.
I think the contact was pretty minimal, and the referee called for the first foul where Kalumba appeared to have fouled one of the defenders of Bul FC.
But he signaled for a goal kick. Well, because I think Emma Kaliwa is a bit fortunate there, because if you look, he didn't go for the ball, he went for the body of the opponent instead.
Well, in possession now. Nice setup once again from Gaddafi, the Soldier Boys. Gaddafi FC. Interesting. If this is a free kick, then then earlier there should have been something there as well.
A penalty. You see that way?
Chitata gets a free kick here for Gaddafi. A chance to pile bodies
eh?
into that 18-yard box. Can they work the set piece? It was one of those areas that really troubled Express in their prior match, and one that they probably can hope to gain from. Their first goal actually came from a set piece and a blunder in there. And now they have another chance to lift that one into the box area, but gave that a little too much oomph, and Verve just sails away harmlessly across the line. And that's a goal kick coming up. 18 minutes. Gaddafi trailing to Bul FC by 1-0 from the penalty spot. Ibrahim Kazindula dispatching with ease.
Well, the thing is that I've observed Wasabosa each time he has been at a new club. They normally start so well in the season. But I don't understand, especially when you look at this Gaddafi side. They've got quite a number of players that played for Express a couple of seasons ago and won the championship. But you don't see that kind of attitude in them, in the way they're approaching games, and they seem to be playing clearly, like a small side.
Well, another foul committed right at the edge of the box area, and Alexis Sabidemate want to quickly arrest this, but there's a free kick coming up here. You don't want to give away too many of those, especially when you have players like Johnson Odong in there. Likes of Amir Kakomo is also a brilliant striker of that ball. You do have Brian Kalumba himself on a good day, will definitely step up to that one. But again, Mahad Yaya Kakoza pulling the strings, orchestrating in the midfield. He's really become the metronome of every single team he goes to. And no surprise that Waswa Bosa normally has him as one of the lieutenants. He always carries everywhere he goes. For the moment, he'll hope the lieutenant on the pitch can deliver, because should they fall short in this game, you get the feeling it might get to become a slightly hotter seat at the Gaddafi headquarters there for Waswa Bosa. But for the moment, free kick coming up. 4-man wall. Manuel Chiliowa has business to attend to. They'll have to definitely make an impact for themselves here as well.
They have to do better than the last free kick, which I thought that was not executed well. And this one
Chance comes up here.
Good save there coming in from Emmanuel Kaliowa. If you ask me, I thought that this time, looking at Yunus Sibira, the execution was quite good. Over the wall, and it was dipping, but good goalkeeping. You must give credit to this man here, Emmanuel
Actually, looks
Kaliowa.
like it struck the upright right there as it was heading out. But there's a corner kick that's awarded. Now Gaddafi will once again have to go about it from this particular area. Looking to set the ball sailing for a near post, but just doesn't get through in the right instance. And that's easily taken away. Yaya Kakoza sets the ball up front. Now who's available? Trying to flick the ball in. It doesn't go according to plan. Ball sails away, and this is a throw-in coming up. 20 minutes played so far. Still the one goal to talk about here. Much improved performance here, at least tonight, from Gaddafi. It hasn't paid dividends yet, as there's a foul that's coming in from Ibrahim Kazindula and allows possession to be retrieved once again by Gaddafi FC. Gaddafi 0, Bul FC 1. Ball goes over the line, and another corner kick is awarded.
We're seeing Gaddafi getting into some bit of life now, and they're trying to push Bul back, and that's probably something that they need to keep maintaining.
Get this one through. Chance for a corner here. This one to be delivered quite amply here. But the ball is instantly cleared away. Yunus Sibirwa, sorry. Now a long ball to chest, but the goalkeeper, Joel Mutakuwa, coming out of his box area and clearing his lines. Now the ball just goes over and away, and that's a throw-in set to come through Gaddafi consistently piling on the pressure. They are mounting it in droves. They're coming in wave after wave of attack. Actually, you get the feeling something is going to have to give unless Bul FC are trying to play them the rope a dope tactic, draw them in, tire them out, and then leave them lying bare.
Well, the thing is that clearly, I just don't think that even Bul are having the best of games. So I think they've decided to just keep their defensive lines as tight as possible to try and lock out this Gaddafi side. Otherwise, if Gaddafi can get some bit of opening there, you get a feeling that this game can easily turn on its head, because Bul, while they've got that early lead, they're still not playing the way many people would have expected them to be playing.
Free kick coming up. Might not be a question of finding an opening. The openings are visible. Do they have the imagination to carve them out? As a chance comes up here, side netting. It doesn't quite pay the dividends they would have quite wanted.
Yeah, and being the home side, of course, they're expected to be the ones that holding the bit of the foothold on the game as Gaddafi. That was a good delivery coming in from Yunus Sibira, but just that there's a bit of lack of height also in that final third, because you think that with that kind of cross coming in on the far end, then you needed probably some taller guys on that far end to get on the end of that ball, say Waiswa being there, or even Bakari Magumba there, to try and note the ball back into the middle so that it can find somebody positioned free and note it into the net.
Waiswa taking no chances, putting the ball out, and now a chance for a throw-in to restart the game. Richard Aiko getting a long ball up front. There's quite a bit of snipping and sniping at each other and really going back and forth, and the aggression is getting on. Yeah, and now hey, someone is kicking at one of the assistant referees here, and now breaking up another fight. Ronald Madanda was at the thick of it, and one of the officials literally kicked at him. Ooh la la. Ladies and gentlemen, we laid the tone out in this one. I told you sibling rivalries are always anticipated, but sometimes that spat goes a little too far. And it looks like the temperatures are not encouraging it here.
Yeah, that's Ayub Balejusa, one of the technical members on that Gaddafi bench. Seems to have lost his head there. I just don't understand why it has boiled over so fast. Oh, now, I thought it was Mahad who kicked out earlier. Oh, and it seems like his leg collided with Ayuko's leg there, but I thought he was one at what his leg protruding out.
Interesting to see what happens here, but for the moment, Madanda seems to be quite the one trying to keep the peace. And some of the modern officials do realize, or some of the Gaddafi officials do realize that it might actually spell heavy repercussions for their man.
I think Ayub Balejusa seems to be insisting to the fourth official there that there should have been a booking.
Okay, now that's a worrying sign that no coach wants to see after 25 minutes. The medical team signaling that it did enough damage, and that's the end of the game for one of the linchpins, the maestros, the anchor points in that midfield. In the 25 minutes he had already played, we talked about the fact that he was the ticking metronome of the game. And now Mahad Yaya Kakoza will have to slide out of this one, and a replacement made as Richard Aiko gets a yellow card for his misdemeanor there.
Well, I thought that if you look at the collision in actual time of play, you don't think it's that bad, but looking at Mahad and knowing him, is the kind of player who doesn't easily give in. But the fact that he is already even shaking his head and clearly in pain, then it must have really hurt and must have been really bad there for him. And it's going to be a huge setback for Gaddafi here.
Maybe one of those instances you'd want to see a little slower to get exactly the angle, because on any other day I would have thought it was Yaya Kakoza that had actually done the damage.
Yeah, exactly. In the moment of play, you felt that it was probably him, and I thought it was just that it found Ayuko's leg also in the position of trying to take the ball away, and he kicked out instead. Maybe a replay could give us a better picture on exactly what happened. But I also agree with you. I thought it was Mahad who had kicked out.
It's one of those instances where the cameras, well, seem to tell you something else. Your eyes tell you something else. And then the player's reaction tells a whole other story. Well, Yaya Kakoza is not one of those that flinches from the hazards of the game. By the time you're seeing him unable to walk out of the game on his own and willing to go out on his backside, that should tell you plenty about the kind of pain he should be in.
maybe John Biamukama could be the option that they could consider bringing on. And I can see Wasabosa also having some bit of heated moment there with one of his technical staff, and that's Ayub Balejusa. He seems to be telling him to calm down and let the team continue to play, but it seems like Ayub Balejusa seems to be really irate here in the way he's conducted himself. He seems to be really, really angry about proceedings here, and he's clearly lost his temper.
Irate he's allowed to be, but at what expense will it come for the team if he carries on in that kind of fashion? Cannot be of any help, of any yield to the team itself. Might want to double check himself and quickly put himself back in order. Well,
Absolutely.
again, gets back on as we try to find a way to get this one. Wait to see how this one rolls in.
Oh, he's brought on an attacking player instead. That's Simon Senukuma now. Now that's interesting. Simon Senukuma comes on for Mahad Yahakakoza. Is it a realization on Wasabosa's side that he needed to have more punch up front than what he was getting? So does he now go with a 4-4-2 instead to try and bring on more attackers that can give Bul Fc a little bit of more trouble going forward? Because I thought that with the 3 defensive midfielders, it didn't help his cause, especially when it comes to imagination and creativity.
Well, he has definitely pointed out that Yaya Kakoza was not a defensive midfielder in his pre-match talk there, despite the fact that he has been deployed in that position before. For the moment, now it's all-out attack. They try to get the wave and ebb and flow of the game back on, but there's a Bull player already on the ground. Telling you, these derbies get heated. And now, once again, another scuffle at the side of the line. And it's the goal scorer, Ibrahim Kazindula, that's on the ground. This time, Bul FC have one of their own, clinching, and in quite a wild wave after wave of excruciating, severe pain there. It's one of these games where if it carries on in this fashion, I get a feeling we might see a very harrowing injury in that meet.
Yeah, if it's not even a red card, because you think that the way the 2 sets of players seem to be losing their heads, it's quite early in the game, but you can see that there's no love lost between them. But you are talking about Wasabosa and what he said about Mahad Kakoza. Well, I would believe him if the person he brought on was a like for like for Mahad Kakoza, but they're totally different players. He's brought on a winger instead, and Mahad Kakoza is not a winger, he's a central midfielder, and we all know what he best does. He's not the most creative of players, we've known that, but he's a good breaker of play and one that protects the back line. So I guess for Wasabosa, he has realized that he needs to have more punch up front, and that's why Simon Senukuma comes in handy and therefore forces the change of tactics.
Well, they try to switch up the flanks now, trying to spread out this Bul FC team. For the moment, it's getting into a bit of a ping-pong game. So try to settle it down once again. Kalumba Brian, now nice switch up here, looking for Chitata, playing in the defensive forward position, but holding onto the ball for too long. And once again, another player, Amir Kakomo, this time going in, and the referee making it pretty clear to Kakomo, former Villa man, and that's his last opportunity to get himself well within the laws of the game.
Well, clearly that was a very, very bad kick there coming in from Amir Kakoma. Off the ball incident, why does he have to kick out at the opponent? In fact, for me, he's very, very lucky that he's got an earful from the referee there. Otherwise, that is the kind of foul that you commit, or that's the kind of incident that would definitely lead to a card.
A chance coming up here for Kazindula. If he can keep it in play, fails to control that one, just goes off the line. And it's a throw in. 30 minutes have simply breezed by, and it's been a lot more of the start-stop to remind the players of the rules of the game as regards to how it should be played, as opposed to seeing more of the pitch action.
Well, the thing is that the anticipation clearly belies the kind of football that we've seen here. We expected that this was going to be such a mouth-watering game, but apart from seeing the kicks and the fouls, again, we haven't seen real good football being played. And again, there's a foul committed there, and this time you get a feel that Mashoud said, look at that, just look at that. Now, Johnson
Real battering in there.
Aiko, was it? Oh, Emmanuel Oboa. And Johnson Odong would be lucky not to get himself carded here. And it seems that he's got off scot-free.
For the moment, this is not going to be for the faint-hearted, and looks like it might lead to less of a rhythm and ebb and flow in the game. Ronald Ochiti Oti puts the ball out.
From Mbara FC defender, after his team got relegated, he got a call and he maintains his status in the Uganda Premier. But I thought he was one of the better players that Mbara FC had last season.
Arguably. America Como now gets onto the ball.
City.
Trying to set the ball up here for Yunus Sibidwa. Now setting the ball out here, looking for Bakari Magunda. Tries to flip a long ball into the 18-yard box here, but easy pickings here for the goalkeeper. That is Emmanuel Kaliowa. Flings the ball out here for Ibrahim Kazindula to start. Send it back for Walter Ochora, one of the senior players in the team here for Bul FC. Launches a long overhead ball here. And the defenders of Gaddafi have to quickly deal with this one. Not exactly quite clinical, but gets the job done nonetheless. And there's a free kick. Brian Kalumba in urgency to get this one started. Serunkuma spreading it out here, looking for Emmanuel Obua. Obua now lifting a long ball towards the 18-yard box here of the adversaries. Johnson Odong tries to pop in there. They fail to control here. There's still a chance as Bul FC are trying to keep them away from that final third. And they'll go again. Another wave. Trying to control. A touch too heavy. The ball is cleared away. Now back in. Now Bul FC have to drop back. Frank Kalanda Machete joining into the defense. And here comes Johnson Odong, formerly at Police FC. Beautiful. Teases his man. And a crossing, inch perfect. But good defending there coming in from Ronaldo T. Now those were the performances we're talking about from him last season, and he brings them to the forefront because lurking in the background, a certain Alex Chitata was waiting to pounce.
Definitely. I'll tell you, Jermaine, that if that ball had not been headed away, then it was definitely going to be an equalizer coming in now for Gaddafi there. But good defending there, you must credit this Bull side. But also good play coming in from Johnson Odong, who seems to be getting into his element, trying to create something for this Gaddafi side.
Gaddafi, Ibrahim Chiemba tries to squeeze one in, and there could be a chance. The goalkeeper is drawn out of his area. Could they cross the ball quickly, trying to go for a bender? Nobody there. Just a decent chance here, but for one reason or another, the Bul FC defense is edging to hang on by the skin of their teeth. The quick clearance here allows them to put the ball back into the half of Gaddafi, only momentarily. Gaddafi in possession, beginning to strike a bit of a rhythm here with some intensity that's keeping Bul FC right on their toes. But as they normally do now, looking to break away. Sending the ball up here, looking for Ibrahim Kazindula. Tries to cross the ball in, looking for, again, Frank Kalanda. But Andrew Waiswa with a shove in there. Again, I do dare say, with another instance, that could have easily been counting for something else. And Waiswa might need to be careful. Wasn't looking at the ball. He was just wasn't looking, and he was just playing his man.
He was playing his man, and of course, those are some of the incidents that players have got to try and ensure that they avoid, because if the referee sees you very well, then you can easily cause your team a little bit of more discomfort. And Andrew Waiswa, rather Bakali Magumba, actually it was, he was not looking at the ball, he was just playing the man, and that is in many ways an infringement and could be regarded as a foul.
Well, in the instance, it's now on the other end that they do get a free kick. This one will be delivered by Simon Serunkuma, shot number 10, one of the substitutes who came on here in the place of Yaya Mahadkoza. 10 minutes left to play in this particular half, and it's been one that has breezed by in quite a bit of a frenzy. As a long ball is brought in, battling out here for consideration. The referee deems it in favor of a corner kick for Gaddafi once again. So to organize the defenses, Bul FC need to strike a balance, need to find their wits about them, need to get a bit of a rhythm into their pattern of play, because arguably it's missing.
Yeah, and this man here putting on the shirt 10, Simon Serukuma, is one that should be able to inspire them, just like we're seeing Johnson Odong.
Whipped in here for the near post. It's not exactly been excellent delivery so far from the corner kicks. They've been going for the near post. Might be one of the tactics they're looking for. Hasn't paid dividends yet as the ball crosses the sideline. That's a throw in coming up here for Gaddafi Football Club.
Seem to be having a bit of a control of the game right now. Gaddafi, they're playing a lot better than the way I showed a while ago.
But they lose possession now, and it's a chance here for Kazindula. Tries to pop a long ball up front there. Frank Kalanda, always the willing runner. This time, we're asking way too much of him. So once again, Serunkuma, the beautiful ingenuity there, and definitely just trying to interpret himself in space. Is really becoming their go-to man, Simon Serunkuma, and a willing worker that he consistently tries to put in a very good shift every time he's been called upon. Even in the game against the Express, he was quite industrious in his performance.
Yeah, that's true, but you think that the final ball has got to be better from him because he's the kind of player who has got talent and has got quality. So we expect that he should be able to deliver better and more precise balls to the forwards as opposed to playing blind passes like he did just there.
Holding on to the ball, player goes to the ground, and now Bul FC once again recover possession, setting it right at the center area here. Bit of juggle of the feet there and quick turnaround. Now it looked like a flash of an elbow, but it looks like the referee says carry on. This sibling spat is definitely taking on a few ugly tones there. Might need to have both players, or both teams actually rein themselves in. But that doesn't stop a full house attendance here at the Kakindu Stadium. In some of the angles here that we do see the fans standing up in large numbers. You get the feeling as it gets closer and closer to the 5 p.m. hour, more and more will actually be streaming in to at least catch a glimpse of the second half.
Yeah, definitely, and this is a good turnout clearly and from the Ginger fans, and it tells you how much they value this game, especially when you consider that one of the teams is really flying high and the other one has started quite slow. So there's always that anticipation that there could be some bit of surprise.
Goes of the line, a throw in once again coming up here for Gaddafi Football Club. Richard Wandiaka has actually been kept quite isolated in this game. The same could be said of Karim Ndugwa. And literally, Bul FC have not been able to utilize their main players. And for the moment, take it out of action there. Karim Ndugwa, hefty challenge coming in. The referee might have a word or two to say. Very late tackle there.
And he's got to be careful. He's already on a yellow card. That is the kind of foul that you commit that can easily get you a second booking.
Well, that's a first, John Viana Nsimbe. Finally seeing the Gaddafi fans, for once, silencing the drums and taking a break in between the games. It's never happened. They dance all the way. Maybe it tells you just how tense the atmosphere is here for them. Much needed breather they might require. As a long ball comes in, and this could be a breakaway here, but Emmanuel Kaliowa coming in, absolutely no thought of his own personal safety, flying in where the boots were coming in, raining hard, and manages to keep it quite at bay. And there you also have to applaud Brian Kalumba for sportsmanship. Didn't intentionally choose to dive in there, because it could have ended off a little worse for his opponent there. Just skips over and waits for another opportunity.
But good game reading coming in from Emmanuel Kaliowa, dashing off his line, because on another day, good find that the goalkeeper is still stuck on his line. Maybe that is a wake-up call for this Bul defense that has looked quite tight. They've kept Alex Chitata at just that one centre forward quiet for much of the game. And you feel that maybe that is something that also Waswa Boss has got to think through on how to keep this Bul
going on
defense.
in Shafiq Bakaki's head is beyond is quite a bit of a mystery. It would make a very excellent case study on how players self-destruct.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Waswa Boss could be better served taking him off, because right now, with half-time beckoning, then you think that with the kind of decisions that Bakaki is making, and I guess it also happens that a player can come and have a poor day, and his decision-making is wrong, his game reading is wrong, and in the end, he ends up costing his side.
I do understand in the instance he was the player who was fouled, and yeah, there is that pain and there's the rage that probably drives you to go on. But if you're on a yellow card, the last thing you want is to be the aggressor. Stay aside. Do not give the referee a reason to get you off the pitch.
Certainly not, and that's something that Shafiq Bakaki has got to try and contain his temper as well. But also, like you said, he's got the experience of playing in this league for so many years. There are certain kinds of decisions that you feel are not expected of a player of his caliber.
Well, just about 4 minutes left to play in this particular half. And it is Gaddafi still trailing to Bul FC by 1-0. That came off the penalty spot there. Dispatched by Ibrahim Kazindula after a handball that did come through from Shafiq Bakaki. And that is the nitty-gritty so far in the first 45 minutes. But for the moment, looks like Kalanda Frank Machete is intent on putting his stamp in the game. Try to set the ball up onto one extra wing. Setting it up here for the goal scorer, Ibrahim Kazindula. Does he have support? Tries to beat his man. And waving across that hits the upright. But looks like it had already crossed the line there. Must have weaved in.
But it was not bad technique at all. The fact that he could take that ball from that kind of angle and it's able to get onto that upright, I guess it just went out and came back in. Yeah, he just
Actually,
he hit on there on the top
yeah.
there, not on the actual post there. But he has been quiet since scoring the penalty, and that's something that has been the story of this Bull side. That despite the fact that they have the lead, they got the lead in the 12th minute, they have looked at anything but a good side.
It could be also one of the effects of playing him as a wing back, because remember they're playing a 3-man defense, so he plays on the right wing back as a ball is brought in and headed away by Walter Ochora there. Now they could be having a chance here to venture forward. Jerome Kiria loses possession, and once again Gaddafi in the box area. A bit too easy there. Alex Chitata making the decision for the referee. Quite a pleasant one. Went down way too easily.
But I think that Alex Chitata is so isolated there, and it makes it very easy for the centre backs to play against him. 3 centre backs against 1. I think that for Waswa Bossa, he needs to change his tactics and to provide him with some bit of support, closer support, or actually that's Odong Johnson. He should play along nearer to him so that he can give him that opportunity for the 1-2s.
Well, a chance coming up in here now into the box area. Takes a Hail Mary shot. And Hail Mary is emphatically held out here by Emmanuel Kaliowa. But that's an instance that draws applause from both fans. The Gaddafi fans finally now resound the drums, because in that instance, they had an opportunity that they pleasantly dispatched of well. Well goalkeeping, very well goalkeeping here coming in from Emmanuel Kaliowa. Outstanding.
Yeah, definitely. He kept his angles quite well there, holding out on the near post and ensuring that he can't get beaten there. And that is a good game reading from the goalkeeper. And you think that he has looked quite sharp all through the game. His reactions, for me, looking at all the Bull players, he's one that, for me, I would give credit for the way he's kept his goal.
Quite resilient in the performance there. Emmanuel Kaliowa does not want to be beaten, wants to maintain the 3 clean sheets and add a 4th in this particular match here to make it 4 out of 5. That would probably tell the story of why Bul FC is at where they are at the top of the table after the 5 games played.
Now, certainly, you think that Emmanuel Kaliowa from last season, since he took over from Saidi Kenny, he has grown in leaps and bounds. He also kept in that Uganda Cup final against Vipers, the one that they won 3-1, and I thought still he had a splendid display in that final. So he's a player and a goalkeeper that has built his confidence. He was also summoned to the national team a couple of months ago. So with all those achievements in his life and his career, I guess it's not surprising that his goalkeeping has really improved.
For the moment, a delicate chip forward here for Gaddafi as they try to penetrate once again the final third. Laying siege wave after wave for the moment. And Bul FC protesting, but the referee says it was a fair challenge. Chitata teasing it on. Johnson Odong goes for the spectacular. But once again, he will not be breached. Emmanuel Kaliowa has made himself the fortress, the final stand, the citadel that will not fall here for Bul FC. Try as they can, wave after wave. It's enough to beat the team, but you need something extra to beat George Kaliowa, as the offside flag here had already got the man in Frank Kalanda Machete offside.
Yeah, that's true. I thought that he ran off early there. He should have read that move to try and keep his line. But looking back at Emmanuel Kaliowa and that save, I thought that it was good that he was able to move off his feet and get to the ball before it landed it onto the top corner. But that was good execution coming from Johnson Odong, although showing a bit of lame duck defending from Bul FC, not closing the man down.
Well, the pressure is mounting here. The intensity is on. It's 2 minutes left to play in a situation where Waswa Bossa wishes they could have been 5, 7, 10 or 15, because at the moment they seem to have Bul FC right where they want them, reeling by the ropes. It's going to be a classic case of saved by the bell if they actually do get saved, because for the moment Gaddafi is still in ascendance. They have a chance. Can they cross the ball in? Ricochets off the man and goes out here for a throw in for Gaddafi. Gaddafi nil, Bul FC 1, Waswa Bossa. I think for the moment wishes he could lace up the boots and get onto the pitch himself.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he would be a big contributor in that midfield like he used to do in his playing days.
AC Villa, one of the places where he actually played there. And a chance coming up here, looking for the spectacular.
Rather Express FC.
Oh, Express
Yeah.
indeed. Well, the captain here, Andrew Waiswa, left on the seat of his pants with that attempt at shot. Doesn't pay off here. And Gaddafi is still holding on to the hope that they can penetrate this defense and at least equalize before halftime. It is the start times Uganda Premier League. Gaddafi 0, Bul Fc 1. Coming to you live on the new home of the Start Times Uganda Premier League. That is Sanyuka Prime. Only available here on Start Times. And of course, brought to you by MTN, the official broadcast sponsor. As they get another chance here. Gaddafi trying to slip the ball in their brand. Kalumba loses possession. Once again, coming forward in numbers. Looking for a quick cut in, and looks like the ball took a bit of a deflection there. Bounces away. And the referee brings what has been a breathless first 45 minutes to a ceremonious stop here for the gentlemen to head back to the dressing rooms and realign strategies, catch a breath, and maybe find a way back into this game. But for this man, it might be a moment of soul searching. It's been not exactly his favorite game. Shafiq Bakaki getting a yellow card and giving away the penalty. And Ibrahim Caesar Kazindula is the man that stood up to the duty and managed to dispatch that particular penalty. That gives his team the lead in the first 45 minutes. That said, it's been one whereby the defense of Bul FC has been least in tatters. The midfield needed a bit more alignment. And for Gaddafi, they had them reeling exactly where they wanted them. 45 minutes of action here at the Kakindu Stadium. It is Gaddafi FC 0, Bul FC 1 at halftime.
Well, the Ginger Derby living to expectations. I'm sure many of you who have been watching this game live have had an entertaining time. But of course, we are here to discuss the happenings that transpired in the first half. I'm with Brian Tuka here just to break things down for the people. Brian, first of all, talk about this game.
First of all, it's been a good game of football, a bit festy like you expect for a derby. Good crowd out here, and it's good for Ugandan football. As you can see, all the stands almost up to capacity, which is good. I think over the weekend we're discussing crowds, and I think this is a good one. Bul FC, nothing much they've done. Gotten an opportunity to throw a penalty, converted it. Apart from that, I think there's only one team that has been trying to play the game, and that's Gaddafi FC. Unfortunately for them, they've not yet created clear-cut chances. And the other problem for them, I am not sure they've got someone who can convert the chances if they've gotten them. So they have to make sure they've created a couple more chances and capitalize on the set pieces.
Let's talk about the penalty itself, the way it came very early on in the game. Of course, you saw how, Kazindula took it with a lot of composure. But was the penalty about the incident of the foul, or it was a handball?
No, I don't think there was anything serious in terms of the foul. For me, it's a handball and it's a penalty. The reason why I think Mashoud Sali is the best referee in the country is because he's not afraid to make the big calls. Many referees in our league will not call that for a penalty. But I think he handles the ball. The defender himself knows it. They had to complain because they feel, I mean, it's not every day you're going to see a player called for a foul or a handball, and they clearly come out and say, yes, you know what, my bad, I've held the ball. But I think it's a penalty. It's handball, it's a penalty.
Let's talk about the finish, the way he composed himself, Kazindula, and took that penalty. Does it show the confidence that Bul Football Club exudes into this game?
Listen, they're definitely a confident side because of how they've been playing and getting a couple of results. That penalty, well taken, composed, because Mutakuba is quite a good goalkeeper and he can save a couple. I think the Kazindula stayed composed and took it with a lot of calmness, which is what you need if you're going to take a penalty. This is an important game for them. It's a derby. They want to stay top of the league, and there's a lot of pressure on them. And for him to take it in the manner in which he did, brilliant.
Looking at the stats before they went to the dressing rooms, it was about 56-44 apiece, for 56 in favor of Gaddafi. Does that, talk about their confidence at home, or the way they want to take charge of their home ground? Also, Gaddafi Bul Football Club coming on 44. What does that mean? Because we know they are top of the table. They've done almost everything right.
I think, first of all, I've been a bit disappointed with that ball I played. They've barely tried to possess the ball. All they have done is to hook the ball forward. Yes, I know they've got two big forwards in the side, in Kalanda and Karim Ndigwa. But you can still play some football and put in the crosses for them. But what they have done is to hook the ball. They are sometimes 2 against 4, 2 against 3, and it's not coming out for them. For Gaddafi, of course, they've got technically gifted players, and they're confident enough to play the ball. That's why you've seen they've got a lot of possession. They've been trying to pass, move, going forward. Bull, on the other hand, has been about moving the ball in the air, and that's a disappointment. That's not a typical Alex Isavide team. I think Isavide team plays much better than you, with a bit more composure and confidence on the ball, and Bull today have not done that. I think it says a lot about the pressure now. I think they're in a position where they feel they can probably compete with the big boys and they want to win every game. And because they've taken the lead, they feel all they need to do is to try and hook the ball away from their backline and then wait and see if they can defend against the Gaddafi team. Of course, the Gaddafi team are not going to give them a lot of questions. But I think what they need to avoid also is lots of fouls and the set pieces they are giving to Gaddafi. Those are the opportunities through which Gaddafi could score. And that's something I think Bull have got to work on. But I think they have to be a bit more composed on the ball and try to possess and try to move the ball better than they've done in the first half. They've barely done that.
You talk about the fouls. For a moment, I thought this was a kung fu session. This leads me to the Yaya incident, going off that first substitution. I mean, what do you make of the rough play that
First of all, it's unfortunate for Yaya. He's been one of their best players. He's a good player, and he suffered a couple of injuries over the years, but he's looked much fitter. This year, Ayuko is a very lucky boy. On any other day, he could easily be sent off because it was open boot, and it was out of frustration because they felt Karim Ndigwa. They hadn't called a foul on Karim Ndigwa, and he decides to retaliate by going all out. And he's gotten a player substituted because of an injury. He's a very lucky boy to only get a yellow. It could have easily been red. And there have been a couple of those, by the way, both from Gaddafi, off-the-ball incidents, and Mashoud has let them go on. But I think he needs to warn these players and get in charge. Otherwise, the game can easily go out of hand.
You know, there's something unique about this football game because it's the first time I've had cheers from the crowds when the goalkeepers are making saves. Talk about Joel Mutakubia and also Emma Kaliowa, how they performed so far.
First of all, Mutakubia has barely had anything to do, to be sincere to you. Apart from the penalty he had to save, unfortunately he couldn't. You can't blame him for that. I think Emmanuel Kaliowa has been the busiest. He's made 2 good saves. Actually, yeah, 2 good saves off free kick. I think it was Brian Odong. And then another shot, I think it must have been from Kalumba, if I'm not mistaken. He's been the busiest of the goalkeepers, or the busy of the goalkeepers. Mutakuba, on the other hand, because of how Bull have been playing, just hovering the ball in the air and not getting to their big forwards, he's not had anything to do.
Now, as we try to close curtains on this, let's talk about the men on the touchlines, the ones who are backing the orders for the players to perform. I mean, what tactics should they be coming with in the second half as we look at the next 45 minutes?
Well, Bull have got the lead, so they've got to keep it. They've got to be more composed. They've got to possess the ball better. If they don't do that, they're giving the ball back to Gaddafi. They're giving them opportunities. Secondly, they've got to stop fouling near their area. I think those set pieces that they're giving out are going to cost them, because for a team like Gaddafi who are going to struggle to score through open play, because, I mean, it's Kitata they have as a forward, he's not going to score many goals. You could be giving them, I think, opportunities through those set pieces. For Gaddafi, they just have to keep going. Try and float a couple of good crosses for Chitata. He's good in the air, not so sure about him with the feet, but I think they've got to continue going forward. They need more numbers in the box, because Bull are played 3 at the back. So what means is that they want to clog and stop them from playing in the middle. They have not done that. So they've got to capitalize on the spaces they are using. And I think now Simon Sedun Kumanzu has come on for Yaya. I'm not sure about his fitness because he's come on a bit early. I won't be surprised with about 15-20 minutes to go when he's already tired. He's got to be useful now going forward and trying to force the issue into the box of Bul FC. Same as Odong, who has been, for me, I think Gaddafi's best player. Try and couple of shots on target if there's no space to play in, but also they've got to have numbers to give themselves a chance. Whoever it lands on, then you have a chance to score.
Well, thank you very much, Brian. Thank you very much, all of you watching us. Still, of course, we still have 45 minutes to come. This derby is really heated up. The flames on the Gaddafi jersey tells the whole story. But let's go for a break. And when we come back, we will be coming back for the next 45 minutes as Gaddafi takes on Bul Football Club.
Another 45 minutes back on here for us as we are back at the Kakindu Stadium. A very, very good afternoon in case you're just joining us. It's the second half of the heated derby between the siblings, Gaddafi FC and Bul FC. Just the odd one goal that separates the two teams here at the moment. Penalty that was scored by Ibrahim Cesar Kazindura that separates the two sides in what has been quite a feisty and heated affair. Jermaine Agessa, your lead commentator here, and of course John Vianney Simbe joins me in this particular match that is brought to you by MTN, the official broadcast sponsor right here on the new home of the Startimes Uganda Premier League, and that is Sanyuka Prime. Definitely bringing you all the action that's coming your way as a free kick is bent in here. For the moment, it looked like it was counterproductive. Instead, worked out as a defensive mechanism.
Well, that was a good delivery there from Simon Serunkuma, and all it needed was somebody to just brush that ball. He didn't need to lift it. I thought that was, you could see Bakari Magumba, what he was doing there. He just needed to just go down a little lower and then brush that ball and guide it far away from the goalkeeper there, and that could have been an equalizer. It was a good opportunity that you feel that Gaddafi have wasted.
Well, another opportunity here for Gaddafi as they surge forward, try to find a way to break down the defenses, just picking it off from exactly where they left it in the first half. And Bul FC looked like tonight they're deploying the route one option, just hoofing the ball away from their box area. Quite a very different turnaround from the team that we've seen them be in the couple of 4 matches we've seen them play so far.
The truth is that when you look at Bul FC and the way they are playing, you can clearly see that they're just trying to stay in the game. They're not having the best of games, and they're just trying to run down the clock and ensure that they stay in the game for as long as possible and try and see that they can force that win. Otherwise, they have not looked at all like the team that beat Villa on Friday, or even the team that almost took all the 3 points from URA. They've really been second best in this game.
For the moment, Gaddafi Football Club looking to weave in the ball there, but good powerful header coming in to do some bit of defensive duty here for Bul FC. George Kasonko video, probably the first contribution he has actually had positively for this team today. Has been really, really noticeably pedestrian and absent.
Yeah, the thing is that midfield has really looked lethargic. The Bul midfield has looked lethargic in this game. That is Jerome Chiria looking at Wandiaka as well, and Kasonko. You would have expected them to have the numbers if you add, of course, Kazindra, who is also another midfielder. But I think being deployed on the far right has sort of like limited him, and he seems not to be aware that once they don't have possession, he needs to drop into the midfield to try and support his teammates. They've really looked really poor.
Well, an instance here nearly opening up for Bul FC, for Gaddafi FC to utilize the lackadaisical performance that is being displayed here by Bul FC, totally lacking enthusiasm and determination. At some point, even bordering on outright carelessness here. For the moment, they haven't been made to pay yet. But that's a statement you might want to hold on to, especially the word at the end, yet.
Yeah, but you see also the thing that is helping Bul stay in the game and also maintain their lead is that even Gaddafi are struggling to conjure up any kind of sustained pressure, but also create chances, and they've got their limitations, and so that can easily be the reason why this Bul side are still maintaining their lead, because not so much is coming from Gaddafi itself.
Well, there's a foul here and a free kick, and a chance for a much-needed reprieve here for Bul FC to try and get themselves into a sentence. Jerome Kiria was at the heart of trying to orchestrate something there and was clipped and brought down. And that's a free kick coming up for Bul FC. In the meantime, in case you have to leave office and you're on the go, join the 4.3K who are currently watching this game live on the Startimes own app. Go ahead and download the app and, of course, link it to your decoder. That way, you will watch these games live on Sanyuka Prime, and brought to you, of course, by Startimes. So definitely make the switch, join the club. As I currently see, the numbers are definitely growing in here. 4.4K at the moment. Join the club, enjoy the game on the go. Comes a chance trying to break the stride in here, but the ball quickly repelled. And they will come again. Tireless, ponderous, but insistent. They are knocking, they are pounding, asking questions. Will Bul FC stem the tide of relentless questioning?
Well, the thing is that the midfield positioning has looked quite terrible this afternoon, and I think that's the reason why they're finding it hard to get a hold onto that ball. Their movement also has looked quite labored as a team, and that's why you see that the strikers are suffering for the lack of service.
Ibrahim Caesar Kazindula trying to make a turn in there. It looks like for the moment his opponent was not going to get fooled there. Well, it looked almost like a dancer in that moment.
And Ibrahim Chiemba, who just tackled Ibrahim Kazindula, just waves him on that, get up, man, and let's continue with the game.
Free kick, Bul FC whipped in, headed away. Good play coming in from the Bul FC, that is from the Gaddafi FC defense here. Ball rolls over the line, throw in, set to come through.
The funny thing about such a game, Jermaine, is that once a team like Bul, even as much as they've labored and struggled in this game, because of the potency they have up front with players like Karim Mundugu and Frank Kalanda, just one opportunity is enough for them to double their lead, and it's curtains. Now, that's the thing that teams that have struggled would always rely on. Once you have a good striking line, then you can always count on victory.
Well, for the moment, they need to counter their back line because they are under pressure, under threat, and trying to get forward, but the move taking way too long, and finally opening up some bit of space, a cutback, but nobody following up in here. You could say Gaddafi are epitomizing themselves as the blunt sledgehammer of the Startimes Uganda Premier League. They need someone up front to act as their scalpel. They need that cool, cold precision to surgically cut through and execute the game in the final move. Otherwise, it's all going to be half puff and no house blown down.
Yeah, the truth is that when you do not have any kind of pretty patterns that are being constructed up front there, especially in the attack, because you see there's got to be combinations between Johnson Odong and Alex Chitata and of course Kalumba. But if you don't see that happening, then it's always going to be very difficult for a team like Gaddafi to get back into this game. So as a team, if you look at that play there was no support coming in from the midfielders, let alone the defenders, to try and squeeze up and press up and try and push through in getting this Bull side on the back foot. But they were all behind and watching play as it went on.
Ideally, at some point, it looked like they were running out of ideas. They couldn't believe they had that much space and they didn't know what to do.
And there was nobody to pick up the second ball, and that's exactly why they've not yet got back into this game, because the way they're playing, the support of one another is clearly elusive here, and that's the reason why they have really struggled to get back into this game.
Throw in for Bul Fc. Current table leaders and leading this game, and right there, the man that puts them in charge of this one, Ibrahim Kazindula, getting it on, looking for support, and gets it in Walter Ochora, who puts the ball up front. Intended target there is one of their lead marksmen, Richard Wadiaka, who, by the way, according to his averages so far this season, scores a goal every 84 to 88 minutes, if you do the calculations there for the minutes he has spent on the pitch. But for tonight, his touches have been noticeably absent. Johnson Odong pops the ball up front here, looking for Simon Serunkuma, marked by two players, but still manages to wiggle his way to cross the ball in, and it's heaved away by the defense of Bul FC.
Well, I just remember Simon Serunkuma in his heydays at Victors. He used to wreak havoc here on this ground when he was playing for Victors, especially in that season when they won the Uganda Cup in 2008.
Well, appeals for penalty there. It looks like the referee, Mashoud Sali, might not have seen that, or might have seen it and had a better opinion of it than the fans. So long ball is brought in. Player tumbles to the ground. Bul FC now having the battle being brought right to their front doorstep here by Gaddafi. And Gaddafi chipped the ball up front. They'll need to do better, because even then, with this defense being in this particular mood today, there's still been a man who has been probably top-notch, arguably. If the first half performance is anything to go about, he might be the man of the match, Manuel Kalioa.
Well, yes, I thought that in the first half he looked quite bright for this Bull side. Of all the players, the 11 that are representing Bull, he looked the one that was really in his element. The rest have really struggled in the game. Okay, you could also say that the defense has kept its fort, it has held its own, and ensured that Gaddafi had denied any openings behind them, and so you've got to credit the defense as well.
Well, the head coach, Alexis Xavier, looks like he's about set to make a change in here. We do see some activity coming in from the bench. That is right outside our commentary booth here. But the fans braving the scorching heat. A couple carrying umbrellas in here, but they wouldn't miss this game for anything. And right there, the section of the Bull fans that are in attendance here to witness their team grind out another victory if everything stays according to plan. 55 minutes they've played. They have little under 35 minutes to hold on or to advance, and they'll probably be going away with another 3 points and bragging rights.
Well, the thing is that they'll breathe a sigh of relief if they can carry the day with the 3 points, because clearly, from what their team has been playing, they definitely cannot be an impressed side. But you can see the changes are bringing on more firepower in Martin Aprem and, of course, Ibrahim Nsimbe. And but you also think that midfield, so Aprem will provide a bit of support in that midfield now that, of course, we can see Obua Emmanuel has also been taken off for Martin Aprem. And Aprem also last season scored some really vital goals for this Bull side.
Martin Aprem there coming off in the place of, that looked like Emmanuel Obua, but also in there, the man that was tasked with coming up with goals every time he set foot on the pitch, Ibrahim Nsimbe, was got from, that was at the beginning of last season, was got from Maida.
Yeah.
And he had quite a stellar season. Not necessarily starting many games, but making sure that every time he came on, left a memorable performance.
Dangerous substitute he was most of the time. That's a yellow card to Karim Ndugwa, who handled the ball deliberately as he tried to control it, trying to do a Thierry-esque that he did against the Republic of Ireland during the 2010 World Cup qualifiers. If you see that replay, tried to bring the ball down using his arm so that it would fall kindly to his right or left foot. But the referee really
may get named, may have brooms named after him, because Thierry Henry had vacuum cleaners named after him for that particular instance. But the ball goes out and there's confirmation there. Karim Ndugwa getting the yellow card, and now there's another throw-in set to come through here for Gaddafi. Chiimba lobs the ball long up front. Now Chitata getting embroiled in a bit of a physical duel. Simon Serunkuma will let that cross the line, giving in a throw. Chance coming in. Ibrahim Chiimba tries to whip in across. Bul FC panickingly clearing the ball away. But now here comes Karim Ndugwa battling for the ball, and there's another foul there. Now he needs to be a little careful. He's on a yellow card. You cannot start making such tags. But Ibrahim Chiimba is furious there with Amir Kakomo for not covering him in that instance. He was actually caught ball watching.
Well, if it was a game of rugby, then clearly Karim Ndugwa would be sin bin. That high neck tackle would get him sin bin clearly.
Chance coming up here, weaving in a long ball, back header, just goes over the bar.
Not a bad attempt there coming in now from Gaddafi, and particularly the brush off from Johnson Odong. Just, I think with the fact that he was heading it without a clear view of the goal, and I guess whatever attempt that he pulled off there, you just got to give him the credit.
One who struggled a lot, that was for fitness last season, Johnson Odong.
Injury after injury at Police FC.
And rarely had the play time. The quality of performance was there, but the body was just not giving him the time. Well, at the moment, it looks like he's slowly getting back there. He's not 100%. This is probably better than we saw him at any point last season.
Yeah, definitely. But he's the kind of player that thrives in teams that really keep the ball well and pass and move in synchrony. And that's something that I think that Gaddafi don't do as well. And definitely, he looks a bit out of place.
Well, for the moment, the Elastico, they are not working very well for Brian Kalumba, but kudos for him trying to recreate it here in the moment. As once again, Gaddafi edging out at the edge of the box area, trying to find their way through. And Bul FC powering their way through. Martina Prem carrying the ball and brought down, so that's a free kick. Another of those that started off last season quite in emphatic fashion was a regular starter, then slowly faded out and dropped to the bench. No surprise, he starts on the bench again for this particular match. Needs to find his better stride.
Yeah, Martin Aprem, of course, had a good one last season, and he was considered one of the big prospects, but somehow he faded away. I think it happens a lot for young players that are just emerging. The consistency comes as they continue to develop their talent.
For the moment, Aprem is the man that is the go-to for most of the passes in here. As a chance comes up, lays flash. Ibrahim Kazindura tries to hit, well, rocket of one. Was not on target, went for power rather than precision. Many times they'll tell you that's not exactly going to give you the desired results.
Yeah, the thing is that you can see what Bul are trying to do here. They clearly are just trying to grab at any opportunity that they get near the penalty area. Albeit the fact that they've struggled to really play any good football this evening. But like I said earlier on, that you see the team like this, because of the players that they have up front, they'll just get one opportunity and they'll make it count.
Player brought down, free kick coming up here for Gaddafi. And a chance for them to throw bodies forward. As this match is left with about 30 minutes. Tomorrow, URA Football Club, the tax collectors, will take on a team that over the years looks like is slowly taking away their title as the draw specialists. Bright Stars Soltino.
Yeah, definitely that one. Even in their last game, they've had 4 draws in all their the 4 league games that they played. They played some good football, Bright Stars, so you expect it to be a good one tomorrow.
Chance comes up here, goalkeeper fumbles, ball goes down, and ultimately the opportunity presents itself. They will protest and say their goalkeeper had been fouled, but for the moment, Bakari Magunda is the man that restores parity here for Gaddafi. In a split second, it's finally come full circle here for Bul FC. And the fans are once again back in full force and will continue to celebrate. Scrappy again. It won't matter. It gives them a point. It allows them to have a voice in this derby. You look at that particular highlight. Ball came in.
No, I think that was a foul on the
Goalkeeper was
goalkeeper.
blocked here. You could say
was
they have
pushed out of the way. That was a foul on the goalkeeper. But I guess that can only be seen if you have VR, because you can see what happened to him there. He was pushed out of the way by Andrew Weisler. That should have been a foul. Clearly, he was fouled. And I guess Salim Masood did not have a good view of that incident. And clearly also the assistant referee on the far end did not have a clear view. That is Okudra. But that should have been called back for a foul.
I think I'll definitely ask the assistant referee, because that's his position. He's the one supposed to be at that very end looking out for those.
Quite unfortunate for Bul FC.
But even then, why would Bul FC's defense leave 3 players to attack their goalkeeper? That is lackadaisical defending.
Yeah, that's very true. Even allowing the ball to bounce in, I just felt that that was again poor defending there. But you can see that the goalkeeper was injured also in the process, and Bul must feel hard done by this. But I guess also that also gives us with those questions that we'll keep asking, when shall we get VAR? Maybe these are the kind of incidents that would...
in that instance, look at
that's
that.
That's
Two
a
players
foul on
going
the
against your goalkeeper, but you have the entire defense marking everywhere else.
You look at that, he's going to get that ball and he's pushed out of the way.
And right there, look at the top corner.
Yeah.
I mean, the assistant referee just takes a run away. Well, it's one of those instances. It's one of those instances that you have to chalk off and say, very unfortunate for the team that concedes in Bul FC. But also, Gaddafi have finally gotten their reward. They have consistently been pushing, they've been probing. Half a chance, they snatched at it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think at the end of the day, also Bul will blame themselves for the fact that they've allowed Gaddafi to keep pounding and attacking them, as opposed to them trying to get a control of this game and extending their lead. I think that generally as a team, apart from their goalkeeper, who has looked quite sharp, except for that particular moment where he was shoved out of the way and denied an opportunity to grab the ball as he had intended to, and clearly was going to get to that ball. I feel that Bul have not had a good game, and this kind of outcome befalling them, you feel that it's a good riddance in a way.
Should Sally will start this one once again. So it's back to level terms, and finally the Gaddafi fans find their voice again. It's normally a very cold week to lose a derby. You have literally nothing to say for an entire week until someone else falls prey to you.
Well, the thing is that now he's probably going to rejig this Bull side. It's going to give them a little bit of impetus now to try and play better and also attack a lot more to try and get that second goal, because now that they've been taken back, they have nothing to defend as they were doing earlier on. They now need to start playing football. They now need to ensure that they can get another goal.
It's normally known that, well, momentum swings to the team that has just scored. It's been all Gaddafi for the larger parts or larger spells of this game. Will that influence them in any way? It's a big question, but for the moment, the tension, the apprehension, the sure shell shock of not being sure of whether you should celebrate or it's too soon. Oh my goodness, this is a canvas of emotions that there's hardly a single word that would describe what is going on right there for the Supremo of Gaddafi, Henry Nocheng. That's the tension of the derby.
Yeah, clearly he had his heart in his mouth there. If you saw how he looked, and he was open mouth in total bewilderment. Clearly looks to be under a lot of pressure here, and he must be feeling a bit of the calm now that they've restored parity. But then I'm sure he also feels that maybe they need to go for the jugular and try and win this game.
Simon Serunkuma is one that will need no invitation to do just that, and now he gets fouled and he wants a free kick. The fans once again starting to cheer on and chant their team on, trying to wave their heroes into the forefront of the battle. Foul there. It's a free kick. Looks like Simon himself will be one of those that will be tasked to deliver it. Now this might call for a little keener marking, especially from Bul FC. For the moment, Emmanuel Kariowa will not be able to collect another clean sheet today. It's a free kick. Weaved in. It's a delicate one! Right into the back of the net! But the referee says it might not count. We might have to have a replay at this one. And the players are now erupting into a fist fight. cuffs being pulled, necks being choked off. Okay, this is going to definitely require replay because it looked to me like it had been plain sailing all the way to the goal. I did see an obstruction from the referee. From the players. Waswabosa is bewildered by the decision. A red card straight here, shown to one of the players. We might need confirmation, but if I'm not mistaken, that would be Ibrahim Simbe.
Is it or Walter Ochora instead?
Okay, now this is real pandemonium that is descending the stage here. It's really going cuckoos right here. Ibrahim Musala is the man in Musongola Isabide Alex. Looks shell-shocked for the moment. Let's see this. The ball comes in.
Anyway. Just look at that.
Once again, he bumped.
Yeah, exactly, into the goalkeeper.
Similar situation.
And in fact, there was even an offside. If you look at that replay, when the ball is played in, they're already in an offside position, the Gaddafi players. And that's the trick that they played on Bul earlier on in getting that equalizer, and they do exactly the same thing to try and get a second goal.
This time, the referee and his assistant were watching, but the eruption and failure to manage the anger of Walter Ochora costs his team. Like I said earlier on, John Vianney Simbe, shades of deja vu. They actually had a red card in this same fixture last season.
Yeah, exactly, and that was Bull that got Douglas Muganga, who was sent off, and they finished the game with just a 10 men, although they were able to hang on and win the game 2-0.
Well, this time it's Walter Ochora, one of the defenders, who is sent off. The goal will not count because, well, it wasn't a goal. There was an offside in there. There was an infringement on the referee, on the goalkeeper. This time, the assistant referee and the man at the center, Sally, making absolutely no mistake, knew exactly where the danger lay. For this man, Walter Ochora, it's a quick walk to the dressing room, another alley bath, and a possible extra sanctions, because that was for very violent behavior that he gets the red card. For the moment, Alexis Savigny urging his team to get their wits about them, reminding them of their capabilities and their potential, and letting them know it's still 1-1. The game is still theirs for the taking.
Yeah, exactly, Amanda. And but you think that with the numerical disadvantage is definitely going to encumber them in some way. But also now it's where for the coach is going to earn his bread, and that means working out the tactics, setting up the team in a manner where they can hold out, but also be able to keep going forward.
Well, that definitely looks like a sentencing, you could say. The way that Walter Ochora had to walk through that lonely tunnel all alone and have the gate slammed upon him while the game continues. It will be down now. It will now be down to the 10 men on the pitch to carry on the fight for the Bull supremacy.
Well, but you get a feeling also, Jermaine, that for this Gaddafi side now, they will sense that with the numerical advantage, maybe they can go all the way and try and put a lot more pressure on this Bull side.
Karim Ndugwa tries to keep it within play. Ball crosses the line, and that's a throw-in. Assistant referee calling it right on the offset there. It's the start times, Uganda Premier League. It's all the joy, it's all the drama, the controversy, and all the glamour. It comes to you on the new home. That is right here on Sanyuka Prime. That is a new season. It's a new channel, and it's definitely going to be one of the most intriguing ways that you get to watch the game here live and exclusively on Sanyuka Prime. And do remember, if you're on the go, download the Startimes Zone app and join the multitudes that are watching this game anytime, anywhere from Startimes.
This is where they've got to try and get their tactics right. It's the shape that they're going to keep as Bul FC, because with the man less, and yet they have two center forwards on. Are they going to go with a 4-3-2? Are they going to try and get one striker playing deeper into the midfield? Or are they going to maintain the back three and just go with a 3-4-1?
Makes for a very tricky, intricate proposition for themselves here. Need to find a way to manage themselves. At the moment, it might be actually damage control, even when the game is still at 1-1. Yeah,
definitely, and I think at the back of their minds, Bull now will take a point from this game, but from such opportunities that they have right now, I'm sure they would try their utmost to try and pass it, because they've got the size in there with Karim Ndugwa and Ibrahim Simbe, two deadly strikers who are quite pivotal in their Uganda Cup success last season.
Caesar Ibrahim Kazindula gets the ball into the box area. Referee runs, goalkeeper runs into his teammate there. And and goes to the ground. For the moment, looks like referee will have to hold up play and get some medical attention onto the pitch.
Yeah, Joel Mutakubwa doesn't seem to be moving, and he seems to be really hurt here, and that's why he's encumbered here and he's not moving at all. I guess as he was trying to come out full flight to try and get his hands on the ball, he must have clashed or collided with another body, and he got off worse.
Mutakubwa.
You can see he's really seemingly in much pain here.
For the moment, Alexis Savide Musongola urging the players to calm down, settle the nerves, calm down the pressure.
See, he actually collided with his teammate.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we said, colliding with one of his teammates there, and must have
like
landed
Alex
awkwardly on that shoulder. And that shoulder did cause him quite a bit of shoulder all the ribs there, but the shoulder did cause him quite a bit of problems last season.
At Express, yeah, it did. It actually did. And it's funny that it is a centre forward that he collided with. Sometimes you ask yourself, what would the centre forward be doing in that kind of position?
Well, desperate times, desperate measures, and all hands on deck. For the moment, he has only been, that is this man in Joel Mutakubwa. He's been able to keep just one clean sheet, Joel Mutakubwa. Just one clean sheet, and today will be no different. He's not going to be able to take one home, but at least for the moment, he can do all he can to keep his team within the running here to at least pick up another point.
Yeah, of course, I think that Joe Mutakubwa was one of the best goalkeepers in the country for much of the 2019-2020 season, and of course 2018-2019 season as he played for Sowana Football Club. But since he joined Express last season, he struggled for form, and somehow even his place on the national team, because he used to be one of those goalkeepers always summoned to the national. Now you can see that kick
right into the joint there at the knee, and but in a prem, we're talking about people who are suspect to injuries, but another one who has also had quite his dilemma. But the fans now having their cheerleaders get them whipped up into a frenzy. It's about time they actually had their voice resound. It's about time they finally brought their atmosphere to the derby. It was one-sided, especially from the fans' chanting point of view. But now, it's just where the scoreline is. A goal apiece, all fans chanting, 15 minutes to play, and all to play for, with a numerical disadvantage for that is for Bul Fc.
Well, you hope that with this 15 minutes left, we can see the ante being upped here by the two sides, because you feel that probably this is when they should be thinking that we should go for the jugular and kill this game off.
Looking like he might decide to take this one into his own stride, and that's going to be a hefty challenge. At the moment, the referee chooses not to book Amir Kakomo. It looked like he went in with a lounge, because there was hardly a chance that he would actually get the ball there. That
should have been a card. I feel that Salima should that one, because clearly it was premeditated to stop the attacker from going forward. That should have been a card, and I think that Amir Kakomo will be very, very lucky.
Looking at getting this one in for the 1-2. Bubbly ball here. For the moment, Gaddafi would be well served by moving that ball away from their box area. You wouldn't want to have the potency of Bul lacking in the background of your goal.
Yeah, definitely. When you have Ibrahim Nsimbe there, and of course we know that Karim Ndugwa, those two, they can be very dangerous. I think they're very crafty when they're up front there, and they've got nimble feet, and they've got also quickness of thought, and their reaction can easily catch you unaware, and they can just pounce on a quarter chance and punish you. So Gaddafi should play defense smarter.
Possession here, battling for it, and no side giving anything that should not be given. At the moment, it's going to be quite a bit of a battle of wills. Gaddafi FC getting back onto the ball, and a chance here to stretch the lines. He has a couple of options up front, spreading it forward, looking for Johnson Odong. Playing 76 minutes. It's been quite a while since we saw him play that number of minutes here, but Johnson Odong, one of the mainstays now in the team, as it's a throw-in coming up here for Bul FC. Starting it off quickly. looking to make headway up front, launching the ball, looking for the root one. Karim Ndugwa definitely find it quite a bit of a problem getting past the markers here, finding his way to wiggle that ball towards Joel Mutakobwa.
But the interesting thing is that Bul are still not really under so much threat as we would have expected from Gaddafi, and Gaddafi don't seem to be causing so much havoc.
Well, a shot here that just whistles wide. Coming extremely close, literally quite catching Vianney short of words here.
Oh yes, I almost swallowed my tongue there.
Chitata standing on the spot and then finding that angle that had beaten the entire defense. The goalkeeper has beaten, and he will have a sigh of relief because that could have quite easily on any other day ended up at the back of the net.
Yeah, exactly. It appears like I'm the one who started Alex Chitata into action. I remember in his days at Saints, a football club, he was famously nicknamed Benzema. Can you imagine?
He might have to do a little more if he's going to match up to the antics of the Ballon d'Or winner. But that's not a bad way to start to make his impact.
Oh yes, and that was his first season in the league because he had knocked the goals in while in the big league.
And chance coming up here once again.
2 attempts there by, of course, Alex Chitata. Now he's seemingly getting into life and also getting more space in that back line as opposed to what he was getting earlier on since that red card.
And finally catching the appetite for the shots, because at the moment he's consistently going shot after shot, shot after shot. Eventually, we did see that the hard work for Bul paid off, that is for Gaddafi paid off. And right in that instance is the cue for Alexis Sabidier to make a needed substitution. Jerome Kiria, normally one of their mainstays in ingenuity and creativity, carving out those chances, creating the opportunities, and sometimes being at the very end of the very same opportunities. Well, tonight, he has been largely restricted, and after 78 minutes, he will have to make way for Anthony Mayanja.
Where this is a piston brought into that midfield, some renewed energy, speed, and drive, and that's something that Anthony Mayanja comes with. And clearly you would understand why Alex Sisabi has gone with this kind of substitution, because you see, with Anthony Mayanja, he's a leader, and therefore one that can give this Bull side renewed energy and try and force the issue and try to see that he gets them forward for another goal.
Experience that he brings and leadership is a key word that John Vianney Sibe points out, not by accident. This was the captain of Usoga United last season, a real dynamo that can play across the entire midfield, but also sometimes knows how to slot himself towards that back line when need be. That is what Anthony Mayanja brings into the game for Bul FC. Straight off
I'm
the
sure
onset.
they'll feel that he probably can do the same for them in this game if he can come with that kind of energy and speed. Then probably that is what they will need to try and get that clincher.
Looking for a way to lob this one in. Now an acrobatic clearance.
Alex Chitata with a flailing arm there into the face of Ronald Oti.
Well, knocking off a couple more seconds there, as both teams are looking to try and hedge each other out. But now you get the feeling it's going to be more of individual opportunities, and more or less this game might be decided on which team makes the bigger mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. But you see, the thing is that with Bull playing with just a 10 men, you'd have expected that this Gaddafi side would have capitalized on that, but they have failed to do that. And for me, that just is testament to one thing, that these players are just not applying themselves well enough.
It would have been definitely painful.
Like, well, shouldn't that have been a yellow card, actually, again?
I think
the elbow,
was,
he was
I don't think it
beating
was
with his elbow.
I don't think it was with malevolent intentions there, so probably could let it slide. But a very interesting turn of events. I could dare say the red card just upped the ante in this particular game. Got Bull on full focus, got Gaddafi more intent and more passion. Overall, raised the quality of the game, which is something I wouldn't think would be quite apt to say according to logic, but the red card helped the game step it up.
Yeah, that's true. I think that Bull has played much better than they did when they were 11, although you still feel it's still not as good as they should be. But when you look back at how they were playing when they were 11, now you can see a little improvement in their performance. And they seem to have more energy in their game. They are applying themselves a lot more, and I guess it also comes down to the psychology that the red card brings, that, you know, now guys, all hands on deck, we need to fight, we need to push.
Well, as it is, it looks like it is the end of the road for Yunus Sirwa. Takes the Warriors' way out on his shield. So a quick substitution might be in the offing, and I wouldn't put it past the man in Waswa Bosa to throw on John Byamukama, Toki, as he's normally known, to come in and finalize the final few minutes of the game. Looks like it's going to be arming up that midfield with players that have the ability to drop back and defend as well.
Yeah, but also players with the ability to shoot that ball, because it's in these kinds of moments, as the game ebbs a lot closer to its end, that their tired legs and tired bodies, and also the focus and concentration seems to elude so many players. So if you bring a player like John Byamukama, and with his ability to strike the ball from distance, then maybe he's a kind of player that, with a good setup in terms of strategic movement from the Gaddafi side, he can strike that ball from outside the area, and it just finds the back of the net.
Well, the ball goes over the line. That's a throw-in set to come in for Gaddafi. Little under 8 minutes left to play here into the box area. This time the goalkeeper fumbles, and a chance here for a rebound shot. Simon Serukuma, but he flicks it too high. And the opportunity, just like that, just as Fico as Lady Fate twists, dances right in front of you. Before you can catch her, she's gone.
Where the idea was good, coming from Simon Serukuma, controlling that ball with his left and trying to pocket. I just think that if he only had got the direction on, you see, he just lobbed it, instead of, if he had tried to just pocket using the top of his, rather the pointed part of his boot, then that ball could easily have been guided into the back of the net.
Well, good snatch of possession here. Now possession goes all the way to Bul FC, trying to drive their way through here. Passion run, they're coming in from Ibrahim Kazin, that is Ibrahim Simbe. Loses out it there. Simon Serukuma. Two performances, or the last two performances for Gaddafi, should surely begin to give ideas to Waswa Bosa, and probably handing him a starting berth once again.
Yeah, that's true. You think that he's a player that has got the technique. The only thing is that sometimes he drifts in and out of games, and you tend to even end up forgetting him.
Some imagination here coming in. Good combination between Alex Chitata there and Johnson Odong. The final product, as has been in a couple of instances, found wanting.
Yeah, that's true, and I guess it was as a result of the rush and pressure that was coming in from the ball markers. They really rushed down on him and put him under pressure, and he was forced to take that rush shot.
Long clearance, once again trying to drive their way forward, and met with stout resistance there from the defense of the Soldier Boys, looking to get themselves up front, but not foolhardy enough to forget all caution or throw all caution to the wind. And now here Johnson Odong drifts back enough, manages to cause enough aggression, and finally manages to pick the pocket of his opponent. That is the impassionate play that you need right now from your team if they are actually to find something in this game. Once again, getting on position, skipping away from one challenge and then another. Referee letting the ebb and the flow of the game carry on. And now Bul FC are on the attack here, trying to find their way through. Can they craft out something in this instance? Ball turned away, looking for a quick full flight forward. And now the goal scorer, Ibrahim Kazindula, tried to tip it in first time. Just made solid footing here of the defense. And now that goes away. Should be a goal kick.
Yeah, that's a free kick actually. There was a foul there by Kazindula Ibrahim there. As he tried to get to that ball, he fouled Ibrahim Chiemba, and in the end, he just gave away a free kick unnecessarily, because I felt that he could have just stood his ground and put the opponent under pressure to try and play the ball out, and that would have given him an opportunity to intercept it, and also given an opportunity for his teammates to come in to try and offer support.
5 minutes of play left in here. It's getting heated, quite fiery and passionate, as a free kick is awarded here to Gaddafi FC. Once again, another chance to bring bodies forward, make an appeal for that 3 points. Waswa Bosa will feel this is a game that probably they should have been able to take in the bag with them. But another chance here, ball whipped in, going towards the far post, and the referee says already infringement there So possession turned over to Bul Football Club.
Some bit of pushing and shoving there, and this time the referee Salima should not missing it out like he did on Gaddafi's equalizer, because they played that tactic quite a lot in the second half of pushing and shoving, and it has given them that advantage of getting that equalizer, because the referee missed out on that one. But he seems to be noticing it happen quite incessantly. And this time he's not avoiding blowing his whistle.
Looks like there might be some activity once again on the touchline in just a bit. May take a throw in fast here for Gaddafi. Started on. Okay, the ball away. Flicked back in. Again repelled here by Bul FC. We're looking now to inch a little further forward. Get a little extra space in there. Eventually the ball not settling down just well enough for them. Now they have to go about it again. Building from the back, but this time it's a little too hard up front, and it's left to run out. Martina Prem could only try to chase, but in vain. Throw in.
You can see both teams look to be tired, and not even trying to force the issue of trying to get that ball from going into touch, because for a team that is looking for a win, you would be desperate to ensure that that ball doesn't go into touch so that you can maintain the pressure on your opponent. But clearly you can see that they seem to be tired legs out there.
We're now looking to venture forward. Nice dummy run here coming in from Johnson Odong, and now flicking it in, looking for Alex Chitata. Unable to get to him. Again, another opportunity, just whistles away. Bul quite easily putting the ball in the path again of Gaddafi Football Club. And now they'll venture forward once again, lifting a long ball up front here, trying to chase this one down. Serun Kuma, that's hit a little too far ahead of him. Would have really caused the miracle, would have needed the shoes of James if he was to get to that one.
Yeah,
substitution coming up. Munguchi is one of those coming in, and he will take the place of Johnson Odong, who has run his socks dry. But on the other end, we also see a certain Ngobi set to come in and take the place of Karim Ndugwa, who, well, has run his game down, but declines to actually have a handshake with his teammate coming on.
Yeah, I guess you've heard that it will be a bit of a drag there, trying to get to his teammate to give him a handshake, and what they need now is another goal to take all the 3 points. But then the goalkeeper seems to be in some bit of discomfort here, Emmanuel Kalio.
Well, he's had a very good performance here, but he's also had to really earn that performance, and it's been one of the reasons why this scoreline stays at 1-1. For the moment, it looks like the battle scars are beginning to show
their impact.
I don't know if it's even battle scars yet because it's still fresh, so battle wounds beginning to come to the fore here in what has been a real fiery derby here. Gaddafi 1, Bul FC 1, and probably one last instance for Waswa Bossa to make a passionate plea to his charges to go ahead and do battle for him and find him those 3 points. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Startimes Uganda Premier League. It's the new season on a new channel, the new home of the Startimes Uganda Premier League. Channel 238 on satellite and 251 on the antenna. And if you're on the go, then download the Startimes own app, join the multitudes that are watching this game on, and make sure that you're not left behind as we create stars this season.
Yeah, just a replay of that earlier incident in the first half, 12 minutes, and the handball by Shafiq Bakaki that led to the penalty that was converted by Ibrahim Kazindu.
Beautiful dispatch, that one, with as little discrepancy as possible. Bakaki has managed to keep his place on the pitch.
Yeah, we thought that
all
he would
the
be
way
carded if he didn't cool off his
well,
temper.
confirmation there. There'll be no less than 4 minutes of added time here. Can one team step up in these final flimsy minutes as the Suns are running out in the sand clock here for this particular game? The evening shadows already beginning to stretch their way across the pitch.
Well, I can tell you that this is a moment for one player to become a star, like we just said that we build stars, and this is a moment where just one player grabs that ball and decides to take matters into his own hands and tries to decide this game. But we're yet to see one really do that.
Well, there comes a chance, but the idea, the ambition, well met. Execution, that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, that was, of course, Richard Wanjaka, who had a good opportunity there, but then again he scuffed it, in my view.
Long ball headed away, trying to run the clock down on this one.
Yeah, I guess that's important now. I think some of them may be thinking that maybe a draw will suffice, a point shared is definitely good enough.
But would that be the fool's rush in at this particular point, to think that you're playing for a draw when there's still opportunity here as the ball is carved in, but acrobatically cleared away here by Bul FC. And now they're trying to mark out their defense lines here. It's getting more and more difficult. And as you could see right there in the background of the picture, some of the fans realizing it's a done deal. Oh, what a goal would do here. He would have a stampede running back in to catch a glimpse of what just occurred.
Well, just 2 minutes left on the clock, and I guess for the fans that have decided to walk out, they feel that looking at the balance of play and even the tempo at which the game is being played, there's little chance that there could be another goal scored.
Setting the ball through Simon Serunkuma. Looks like he's also slowly drifting out of his superhuman strength now. The 90 minutes beginning to take their toll on him. The twist and a turn. Looking for the one-touch soccer. Simon Serunkuma battles here, but this time caught in no man's land, and that's another chance here for them to try and venture forward here. Gaddafi, very solid defending there. Put on display by the Bul Football Club team. Expertly tackling there. Chance for Gaddafi, launching a long ball into the box area. And looking to take the easiest and safest approach, nodding the ball back to the goalkeeper.
Just under 1 minute left, or just 1 minute and a couple of seconds, and it will be curtains here. But looking at the way the two teams are playing right now, as we get closer to the death, it seems to have settled for the draw.
Well, looks like that's all it will be in this one. Both teams are constantly looking a lot more concrete at the back right now, and repelling every attack. So it's more of the midfield that's where the ebb and flow of the game is really turning out to be. As you can see, passionate headers, an aerial game. And it looks like the ball is hardly having a time to play on the ground. It's more of an aerial ball.
Yeah, but I think also that Bul, at the end of the day, they will probably feel happy about the point, because this has not been one of those good performances from them.
And if you can still grind out a result, or a half-decent result, and probably that's what takes the mantle of a champion.
Yeah,
on your worst day, to be able to have something to show.
They've not shown that today. The championship form that we've been applauding them for has not been showcased this evening.
94 minutes of action here. The Startimes Uganda Premier League, brought to you by MTN, the official broadcast sponsor right here on Sanyuka Prime. And the referee will not waste any further time, but quickly brings this one to a close. It's been nothing short of a fervent performance from both teams. Really heated up here, fiery at some places, bordering on maniacal madness, but in some instances eventually coming down and giving us a true sense of the beautiful game for the neutrals who actually gathered in to watch this one. Ibrahim Caesar Kazindula giving the lead to Bul FC from the penalty spot in that instance, where Bakaki Shafiq had handled the ball within his box area, and that gave the lead to Bul FC that they took with themselves to the dressing room at halftime. A tale of two tales, because the second half gave a chance to Bakali to go ahead and level the tie and make sure that at the end of the day, the derby between the siblings, the spat, the rivalry, is still not settled for the day. Full time at the Kakindu Stadium, it is Gaddafi FC 1, Bul FC 1. Let's head down to the pitch side for the full breakdown and the 4-1-1 of what has been an intriguing match.
Well, having been on the touchline, I want to redefine the name derby, because this game surely has lived up to the billing. These two clubs have gone at each other's throat, giving us a wonderful game. Of course, this is one of the games you want to rewatch again on the highlights. But of course, it has been rather very fantastic. I do have one of the goal scorers here with me, Ibrahim Kazindula. First of all, fine penalty you took. How was the game for you?
What is bad. You know, a derby is not good. Is not enough to that we can win. A derby anyone can win, but we played our best. We got a point. We are still keeping our unbeaten run.
You came into this game as favorites. What went wrong? Because everyone thought you were taking the 3 points.
Yeah, we wanted 3 points, but the red card even disorganized us. That's why I removed from the right wing, then I went to the back. So the red card disorganized all the game.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, of course, that's Ibrahim Kazindula. Took the goal early in the 11th minute to give Bul a chance up front. But of course, this gentleman here, Bakali Magumba, had other reasons. Magumba, first of all, fantastic turn. You took a goal in a very crucial time when you needed it. How was the game for you?
The game was okay on my side. The game was just okay.
Gaddafi played it sat out today. You managed to come back from a game that is very difficult. You can look into the camera in a game that, you know, many never gave you a chance. How did you manage to orchestrate a comeback and get a point?
The way coach told us on the training
You
is
can
the
raise the
way
mic.
the game we have managed to win it because we have followed the instruction which coach told us on training.
So what next for Gaddafi after this very wonderful point?
We need the win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the man himself, Bakali Magumba, who has managed to give a fantastic turn, to give Gaddafi a chance in a game that was rather very difficult. But of course, many out there will be remaining with discontent about, you know, the penalty. Was it not? But thankfully for us, we do have Brian Tuka still here with us to break it down for us. Brian, first of all, the whole 90 minutes, tell us what you saw from the sidelines about this derby.
First of all, I think given how the game went, I think it's a fair result. First of all, I think Gaddafi were the better team. They didn't create enough clear-cut chances. Of course, the one chance they got, they managed to convert it, which is questionable, by the way. I think it was a foul on the goalkeeper, but they gave it as a goal. But given how they played, I think they deserved something out of the game. Bul, for me, the moment they scored the goal, they gave up on playing football. They were only hoofing the ball forward, and I really think that cost them. All they wanted, I think, they feared the game. So what they played for is to avoid losing the game rather than winning it, and I think for me that cost them the game.
Lots of incidents on and off the pitch, but of course the red card, you can't rule that out, surely. Walter Ochoa going off for that incident. I mean, what did you make out of that scuffle that ensued?
First of all, I don't know what exactly happened, but I have a feeling Mashoud should have seen him push or hit his opponent, and I think that's why he got red. The other goal that was disallowed, I think it's the right call, because there are two players in front of the goalkeeper. It's offside. There's no doubt about it. Yes, it's a direct free kick, but there are two guys impeding the goalkeeper's vision. It's offside. There's no doubt about it. And I think for the other things, it's a derby. You expect a couple of battles here and there. And I think you give the referee some credit. He didn't do too bad.
Well, thank you very much, Brian Tuka. Of course, thank you who have been watching us. Of course, we are still continuing with studio build-up, but it has been fantastic here at Kakindu Stadium, where Gaddafi Football Club has shared spoils with Bul Football Club. Let's go back to studio to Shafiq for more analysis.